Welcome to another episode of Connect, the show where we explore solutions for loneliness, foster connections, and encourage healthy aging in our communities. I'm Sandra Harris, co-leader of the Massachusetts Coalition to Build Community and End Loneliness, and I'm excited to have you join us today. March is National Nutrition Month, a great opportunity to discuss the vital role food plays in our lives. Food not only nourishes our bodies, but also significantly remedies loneliness and social isolations, enhancing our overall well-being. Today, we'll emphasize the role nutrition plays in healthy aging and how shared meals can serve as a potent remedy for loneliness and social isolation. Here with me today to better understand the role of good nutrition is Dr. Joan Salge Blake, a renowned nutrition professor at Boston University and a prominent authority in this field. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Blake.
Thank you for inviting me.
Good. Why don't we get started by you telling us how about your work and what inspired you to the field of nutrition?
Well, I'm a nutrition professor at Boston University, as you said, and I've written 3 textbooks and a trade book, and I write for a lot of media outlets. And really what I love to do is to take the nutrition science and make it understandable for the person either reading it or hearing it, if I'm on a TV such as this, and then they can make actionable, doable tips and steps in their life to improve their health.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So why is nutrition so vital for healthy aging, and what are those nutrients that are really good, especially for older adults?
It's so important that older adults eat healthfully and have nutrient-rich diets. I say to get as much nutrient per bite. Why? Because let me tell you something, Mother Nature is not very nice. So as you get older, your metabolism slows down. Okay, so that means that you need less calories than you did, say, when you were 20. So each of those calories, each of those nutrition, each of the food that you eat really should be nutrient rich so you get enough nutrients per bite. A lot of nutrients that older adults are falling short on are calcium, fiber, protein, and potassium and vitamin D. So we really have to make sure that your diet is very healthy, nutrient rich, so that every bite gets you good nutrition when you eat.
So what are some of those foods that provide those kinds of nutrition? What are the best foods for those?
Right. Well, calcium and vitamin D, you can't beat fortified milk. You know, all milk is skim milk, low-fat milk all has calcium and fortified D. You're also going to get vitamin D in things like salmon, and calcium also in salmon. You know, people say salmon, I don't feel like making salmon, but you know what you can do? You can go get canned salmon or the salmon that's in those pouches, open up, put it on a salad, make a sandwich out of it, so you have food. And you know, salmon is also a good source of protein.
Oh, okay. So does food tend to address loneliness and social isolation? And if so, in what ways?
Right. You know, we know that when you eat healthfully, your mind is sharper, your body is being fueled, and you're more energetic. The reverse of that, if you're not eating healthily, you may feel fatigued, which makes you want to stay home, which makes me, perpetuate more loneliness, and it's a vicious cycle. So eating healthily, eating especially with others, can really, really boost your intake and your mood.
So Dr. Blake, for those people who have poor appetites, no interest in food, what are some of the things that they can do to make sure that they are eating the proper amount of nutrition?
Well, a lot of towns have like senior centers or older adult centers, and oftentimes they have these congregate meals where maybe once a month, once a week, they will serve a wonderful, well-balanced meal, hot meal, where people can go to, and it's very inexpensive. You just sign up in advance, and you can go and have this fabulous, nutritionally balanced meal, but most importantly, others of your age will be joined in, and you can sit around a table and socialize. We know through research when you eat with others, your intake goes up. So that's why it's so important for older adults to find opportunities that they can eat with others to help motivate them to eat healthy, balanced meals and more of it.
But what do I do if I'm an introvert, right? Or I don't have such a program in my community? What are some things that I can do to kind of bring those kinds of shared meals opportunities into my life?
Right. Well, if you're on Zoom, and that's easy to set up, someone can help you set that up, you can have meals together with families of friends all over the world. So what you can do is schedule a Zoom meeting where you're going to say, let's have dinner together. So you can have dinner. It's 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Let's do it. You all get on Zoom and you eat together. And some people say, oh, I don't feel like cooking, but guess what? Go to your freezer. Their frozen meals nowadays are really been upscaled. Many of them have whole grains and fruits and vegetables, part of them, great sources of lean protein. If everybody can just microwave a dinner, get on Zoom and eat and share together and just talk, it's a way about being together and never leaving your home.
So based on your work and your experience and research, then the value of sharing a meal on Zoom is similar or equivalent to that on in person?
That's right, because it's that bonding, it's that you're meeting, and that makes you happy. And so and also you're going to be forced to eat because you have to come with a meal because everybody's eating with you. And you'll find that it really, really is very nourishing for your body and your soul.
So Joan, as we look at where we get our food, I guess it's always best to have it fresh. But let's talk about the value of frozen food.
Right. We know, that when frozen food, frozen vegetables, frozen fruit, and now they have meals that are very, very healthy. When the food is frozen, it is flashed frozen quickly. So the vitamins in those vegetables, fruits, whatever, is locked in. And that's wonderful because if you have fresh, just say, and you have fresh broccoli, and I always say you take that fresh broccoli home with you and you put it in the refrigerator and it's beautiful, it's vibrant green, and you put it in the refrigerator and you put it in that vegetable bin at the bottom of the refrigerator, which I call the produce graveyard. So what happens with that is that produce, that broccoli goes in there, and then we forget about it. And when we pull it out, it's not that vibrant green anymore. It's more like combat green. So what has happened is the oxygen in the air has oxidized a lot of those water-soluble vitamins. So while you sometimes say fresh is best, it may not be if we've lost some of the vitamins. Compare that to frozen vegetables. For example, flash frozen, the nutrients are frozen right in there. So you could easily just take them out. Also, frozen vegetables are typically 50% less than fresh, unless you buy on sale. And also, they're all cleaned and chopped and ready to go. There's very little prep time for a lot of people that are living by themselves. So it's an easy way to get these nutritious produce into your diet. And a time saver. Clean, washed, chopped, it's like having Rachel Ray in your freezer, for goodness sakes. So you can easily take it out and make a meal around that. Some rice, a piece of protein, chicken, fish, salmon that we had already talked about, and easily make a meal together that's well balanced in minutes, that's not very nutritionally rich, and maybe more affordable.
Oh, wonderful. Oftentimes we also think about young people and their eating habits. Any recommendations there?
Oh boy, we don't have enough time for me to get into that. But young people also need to be healthy and eating correctly, especially because they have many more years ahead of them. So the number one killer of Americans is heart disease. And heart disease does not start when you're older. Heart disease starts when you're younger. So you need to make sure you're eating more healthily. And relying on foods such as frozen foods is an easy way for them to quickly get a meal together that wants to have more vegetables and produce. We know it's recommended that at a minimum, American adults should get at least 2.5 cups of vegetables a day, and they're not doing that. So we want to make sure that have these vegetable sources around you that are easy to use, affordable, easy to get on the table, and then eat them.
Oh, you're talking to me because I need to do a better job of getting my vegetables in. So thank you so much for your insight.
You're not alone.
When we think in terms of culture and tradition and passing on tradition, can you share examples of ways that we can begin to make those intergenerational kinds of connections by just looking back at our own cultures and passing traditions on to the next generation? And is that effective?
Absolutely. All ethnic groups, their diet is pretty much the same. It's very plant forward, and it typically has great sources of protein. I'll give you mine. I'm 110% Italian, so I love to eat, pasta and beans and fruits and vegetables and fish and lean chicken. I'll eat anything. So, but if you even look to Asian cuisine, it's the same things. It's fruits, it's vegetables, it's rice, it's great protein. Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, they're all the same. It's just the different foods based upon the regions that you go up, but they're all wonderfully healthy. And eating what Grandma used to make is so wonderful for memories.
Oh my goodness, you're stimulating my appetite right here. Okay, so as we try to create stronger, more connected communities, what are some things that the community can do to help address people who are lonely and making sure that they are not only getting the nutrition, but also the community that they need to be more successful?
Right. That's an excellent question. It takes a village. And so what has to happen in the community, we have to say, where are these older adults, and are they isolated? Are they in the homes? Especially in March, if it's winter and dreary out there. And let's make something where they can reach out. And something, you can go on the web and look at Massachusetts programs that have congregate meals. How do you set that up? Or even just have an afternoon tea, and you get them out and go to a facility that's in town, have tea and cookies or fruit or something, just to get people socializing. But we need to remember there's so much value in the wisdom and the energy of older adults. So let's get them together. Let's make sure that they're eating healthfully, and let's use that wisdom and that guidance to help maybe mentor the younger people that are in town.
Oh, good. The community plays a crucial role in supporting the well-being of older adults. Can you speak to the specific ways in which perhaps the food service industries, such as restaurants, cafes, meals delivery services, can help address loneliness and social isolation, especially among the elders?
Right. Restaurants, that's a wonderful, wonderful question, because your restaurants are existing. They're in town. So what they may want to do on days that are slower, just say like a Tuesday, they may want to have like an early bird special geared towards older adults, have them publicize it, rally the troops, and get them to come into the restaurant for a very, very affordable price, and let people dine together and help together. You may want to have the community go a step further and see if there's a van that can go pick everybody up and bring them to the restaurant and then take them all home. So there's so many resources within the community. Let's put your thinking cap on, and how can we use the resources to help the older adults?
Oh my goodness, it's such wonderful ideas. It brought to mind, for example, on Thanksgiving, why not reserve a table of 8, right? Where on Thanksgiving Day, you invite people who are alone to the community, not only for a wonderful meal, but for community, right?
Right. And don't stop at Thanksgiving. Memorial Day weekend barbecue, July 4th. Let's not stop. Let's do it. I mean, you're having these barbecues in the backyard or meals. It's like, guess what? You know something? Lucy down the block, she's living all by herself. Why don't we call up Lucy and see if she wants to come over for a hamburger?
Right. And become a good neighbor, right?
Right.
That's right. Here to provide an example of the benefits of good nutrition and shared meals is our field reporter, Melissa Donnegan. Melissa?
Great, thank you, Sandra. AgeSpan is an area agency on aging located in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and they are wrapping up a 3-year restaurant pilot made possible by a grant through the Administration for Community Living. And this grant was designed to improve access to healthy meals, reduce food insecurity, and increase social engagement for older adults in immigrant and refugee communities. AgeSpan's restaurant pilot program, Rainier, which means to gather in Spanish, is a partnership between AgeSpan, the Cambodia Mutual Assistance Association, and local restaurants located in Lowell and Lawrence. Through the restaurant pilot, older adults of Southeast Asian and Latino descent can receive 2 free dine-in meals per month at any of the locating the restaurants. And there are 6 right now participating. And our restaurant pilot partners so far have served over 1,200 meals since the start of the program. So today I'm excited to be joined by one of our participants, Eduardo, and he is joining from one of the participating restaurants in Lawrence, El Talle. Thank you so much for joining me today, Eduardo. So, what sort of positive changes have you seen since participating in this restaurant pilot program in your life? I understand you and your wife go to the restaurant together.
Well, she's kind of the shy type. She's very
Yeah.
shy, so she doesn't do restaurants too much. But yes,
Okay.
we did come. She did come once with me, but it's I like the place. It's nice.
So, have you noticed any positive changes in your life since you've started attending?
Well, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
We never, we really never like expected something like this to occur in our life. And I think it's a good thing. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
I mean, the meal that they offer you is like healthy. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just made like elsewhere, a lot of grease and stuff like that. It's healthy meal. And that's when you get to a certain age, you want to eat healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so
Yeah,
the program not only allows you to get out and socialize, but you're eating a healthy meal as well. What is your
exactly.
favorite thing to order when you go?
Las fajitas.
Oh,
That's numero uno.
okay, that's usually your go-to meal.
That's the numero uno, you know.
Great. So have you
And
met any friends or made any new friendships at the restaurant since you've been attending?
the employees in general, they're very, very good. They're very polite. They're there for you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I like the atmosphere. They make you welcome. They make you feel at home.
That's wonderful. So I did mention there are several different restaurants in Lawrence and Lowell that are part of this, and we are trying to get other cities and other restaurants involved. And this, like I said, was a pilot that is being looked at nationally. So why do you think a program like this is so important and funding to replicate more of these around the state and around the country? Why do you think that that would be important?
Well, I think it's a good idea in the sense that for one, you can go out, as a couple, or if you're single, and meet new people for one, and plus, like I said before, the food is it's not just like any other it's decent food. It's healthy food. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times when you go to some restaurant, that not to predict, not to I mean to criticize or anything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the meal is not the greatest. But over here, so far, so good. I can't complain. And again, it's a good thing. people go, certain age, going out, instead of staying home. It's a good thing, it's sort of like therapy, if you know what I mean. You
Yeah.
know? Yes,
Yes. No, social isolation and loneliness can be very bad for people's health. So yeah, getting
Right.
out in and of itself is good.
Mhm.
But then yeah, going and sharing a meal, a healthy meal in the restaurant that you're in is so beautiful. We can see behind you,
Yes,
and chatting with the staff. So that's really something nice that you get to, look forward to doing a few times a month.
right, exactly.
Well, I'm so glad that this program has been meaningful for you and you've had really positive interactions with people.
Mhm.
So I really appreciate your time today and sharing your experience with us. Back to you, Sandra.
Dr. Blake, as we wrap up, what final messages would you like to leave with our viewers about the importance of nutrition and shared meals for healthy aging?
Right. Again, nutrition is important to fuel your body. You must have all the nutrients available and working together. And you really need to do that from a well-balanced diet. And we know that eating alone isn't really a motivator to go and have a happy, full, balanced meal. So let's make sure that people have a reason to dine with each other, more of a fun social activity. We know from the research that your food consumption will go up. Let's make sure that they have access to quality food. Food prices now are quite expensive. So let's make sure that they, if they're on a budget, that they're getting enough food. I often, every week in my town, in the supermarket in my town, there is a bin in the supermarket that you can make a donation to the local food pantry. Every week I donate because I know that there's a lot of people, not just older people, a lot of people, even people with children, that really are having a hard time feeding themselves and their family with these food prices. I mean, have you seen the price of eggs recently?
Oh my goodness.
It's like I'm buying a whole chicken. It is so unbelievable. So again, we have to remember to make sure that these older adults, and actually all families in town, have adequate amount of food, and those that need food are aware of the local food pantry so they can have access to it and get what they need. Because you need to have healthy foods in your house. So please, I advocate that people donate every week, just something. It could be a box of cereal, it could be, whole grain crackers, it could be oatmeal, whatever. Just donate something to the food pantry, but make sure as a town, those who need it are aware of this wonderful resource while times are very challenging to go food shopping.
Right. And this, again, is just not for older adults,
That's right.
It's for our community members, our neighbors.
That's
People
exactly.
who are in need of help right now. Good. Joan, this has been so wonderful. And for people who want to stay connected or hear more about your work and what you do, how do they stay in touch with you?
Well, I started a podcast. It's called Spot On with an exclamation point, and you can get it on all major podcast platforms. Get on Apple, Spotify, and each week we address a trending nutrition topic, so people can listen to it and get some tips on how, what's the latest science on a certain topic, and more importantly, how to potentially make changes in their life that better support a healthy body and a healthy mind.
Okay, very, very good. Thank you again for being with us. This month, we invite you, our viewers, to explore how food can connect you with others. Consider organizing a shared meal, whether it's hosting a family dinner, inviting a neighbor over, or participating in a local potluck or community event. If cooking isn't your thing, think about volunteering at a local food bank or meal delivery program to spread kindness through food. Let's show how food can feed not just our bodies, but also our hearts and souls. Thank you so much, Dr. Blake, for sharing your valuable insights with us. And thank you, our audience, for joining us. Nutrition isn't just about what's on our plate. It's about the connections we create when we share meals, recipes, and traditions with others. Join us next month as we continue our journey to build connections and promote healthy aging. Until then, take care of yourself and each other. Stay well, stay connected, and thank you for watching Connect. Visit us at End Loneliness MA to watch previous episodes of Connect, to learn more about the coalition and discover ways you can join the movement to help alleviate loneliness and promote healthy aging in Massachusetts. Thank you.